get in touch with you, I would choose you. Had I known that you're the other person I voted for, I would choose you. And the sole reason I voted for the two of you and for Wyatt is because on that little thing that he sent out, my priority is to fix this meeting. One of my priorities. And I asked Wyatt right before I voted, which one of these commissioners are with you on this? He told me you, and I asked you, and you said, we're going to take care of that. You weren't standing around, but they gave me your name and said, vote for him, he'll get it done. It's been 2 years, it's worse out there now than it was day one. And I want to know why.
I agree with you.
Well, how come you haven't done something?
Well, actually, last year we were out there and I have gone out there, picked up trash, I have moved.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I know, finish it.
No. What I'm talking about, getting that crazy mulch out, killing some weeds, putting some grass. You guys voted to say $14,000 to put seed. Guess what that seed's doing? Absolutely nothing. I got pictures on my phone that I took on the way here. There are weeds to my knee. If my yard looked like that, you'd have your code enforcement person knocking on my door. Okay? Let's go back to code enforcement. You're talking about people coming to knock on your door, selling different things. Code enforcement opened my gate, went in my backyard, and saw that I had a pool, brought 2 sheriff's deputies with him to serve me notice to pay my fine. Now you tell me how screwed up that is. Okay? But you promised me, and you promised me 2 years ago, that would be fixed. The time for talk is over. Something's got to be done by the 5 of you. It all rests with the 5 of you. I'm to the point where I'm ready to go to my neighbors and see if there's some kind of legal recourse, if we can get all you guys recalled, because that median means more to our city probably than this place. More people drive by Canada Road from other neighborhoods, from other towns, from other cities, and we are a laughing stock because it looks so bad. It's got to be fixed. I chewed him out several times. He can't do it on his own without you guys. You guys have to tell him what to. Am I wrong?
You're wrong. You're wrong. We bugged him.
So it's up to him? He's trying to get the job done?
You think that meeting hadn't been a topic of discussion?
I don't care about the topic.
You talk, I didn't interrupt you. Listen
Go
to
ahead. Go ahead.
That meeting has been a topic of discussion in this boardroom 2 times a month, and in his office at least 4 or 5 times a month, by all of us, because we want action. We got out there on Saturday and dug bushes and worked our butts off trying to get this done. If you think that meeting hadn't been a priority for us, you are dead wrong. And to say that this board isn't doing it is another lie. It's not. We are absolutely behind this, and I'm on him all the time. I don't like the fact that we went out there and sprayed stuff up and we didn't kill the weeds first.
I agree.
So don't say that it's us.
Whose responsibility is it if it's not the 5 of you? Whose responsibility is it?
It ultimately is ours because we're in charge of him.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you, I send pictures, I complain at least once or twice a week.
Well, what are we going to do about it? We can talk about it until next year. We've been talking about it for 2 years. We need to do something.
Let me add something. Let me add something. Let me add something. To answer your question, it is, we talked about the division of powers earlier, okay? The power rests with the city manager to do this. It is his responsibility to do this. We're an oversight body over him. We appoint him. His job is under our control. He serves this body at will. And so we can terminate him if we feel necessary. That being said, the responsibility, you ask about the responsibility, where it rests, is that man right there. If he doesn't perform like this, like we expect and our citizens expect, we can terminate him. And does this rise to the level of terminating our contract with the city manager? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And I know it's an important issue. It is. I would never downplay the importance of the issue. When I terminate the city, when I move to terminate the city manager over this question, I went out there like you did, I looked, I don't see any progress, that seed hadn't made any progress, I don't think. I saw weeds. When you grow grass, they come in the spring first thing they do before they put fertilizer on there is they kill the weeds. They put weed killer on your lawn, because if you don't, and this isn't my genius, this is the genius of many years experience of what's the little group that sprays our lawn. If you spray fertilizer on it before you kill the weeds, you fertilize the weeds. They're stronger, and the grass can't compete as well with it. And so I don't think it was done right. They do guarantee the seed, which is a good thing. So we can come back and do it again until it does take. But I don't think it's going to take until we kill the weeds at least. I also shared some concerns about leaving the mulch out there. Everybody said, well, mulch has deteriorated over years and grass will grow. I have experience with that. Yes, grass grows on mulch that's old mulch, but it just grows a spot here and a spot there. It doesn't really grow, it doesn't take like it's supposed to. So you put little seeds down and you fertilize it with weeds coming up through the mulch. You just make the weeds stronger, and you really don't have a prime area for those seeds to take root. A prime surface for those seeds to take root in. It's think the whole thing's handled wrong. And I'd have had somebody out there rake off that mulch. I'd have killed those weeds. I'd have seeded it if that's the route we're going to go. And then you'd have seen some growth. But if you otherwise you sod it. And I think sod probably would have taken there better, but I think you would have had some spotty surface because of the mulch that you left out there. I still think you'd have some of that mulch, even though it's deteriorated, is effective still today. I don't think we have a good plan in place to fix that. And I don't like to have my root chewed, and I expect results. And Jim, you're responsible for it. And you have an annual evaluation. We consider your contract. And if I get to a point where this is a habit, and I don't think we're there, but if I get to a point where I think it's a habit, then my vote will be elsewhere when that time comes. And I can't speak for the rest or who might be here in the future, but I like you. I think you're capable. I think you're the best man for the job today. I don't want this to be a habit.
I can say that I've had conversations with them. I don't know what's going to happen in July, and if we put something down, will it grow? But I've said, if this is not done by August or September, when it's time that it looks right, I don't care. I've said, I'll go out there myself. I'll pull the weeds. I'll take a mower. I have gone out there, and Delphine can tell you, we've gone out there many times. So, because to me, that is the entrance to our city. And who is going to come and invest in our city when they see a bunch of weeds? I have picture after picture after picture on my phone. And Jim will tell you that I bug the whatever out of him. But it hasn't, there's been a lot of stuff going on. I agree with you. There's been a lot of stuff going on. Personally, I think that should have been pushed to the top of the list, because that is something that you can see, feel, and it's right there. That's in the people's face. So, I don't know that, I wish it would be done tomorrow, but if it's not done by this fall, my head will explode. So.
Well, we had a solution back in the fall.
Yes.
When did we pass this thing? We passed this solution back in October?
September, I think.
December?
It was late, because we argued about the sprinkler system, because we wanted it to look
December?
nice. So it was probably November, December when Gene, because we finally gave in and said, all right, let's hydro sod it, because at first we all wanted to repair the sprinkler system. So it was quite a while. Yes.
That's not like you're from the city.
What about me?
I didn't know.
Sign up,
Yeah.
sign up.
Okay,
Oh, sign.
fine. Well, if
I
there's
don't
other
have
people,
cards.
I thought they were,
Sign.
yeah.
I have signed.
After they
Okay.
talk, I'd like to hear from the city.
Sir, I have said this over and over again. The city's going no place. unless that median.
Address us.
Talk to us.
Address us.
The one and only reason I voted for Mayor Bunker was because we had the discussion about the median. It had nothing to do with Jim. He was going to make it look like Franklin, Tennessee. I was chewed out by you because I said the city looks like crap. And that I owed you an apology. I think you owe me an apology. I have worked on this for the past 7 years. Jim, did I or did I not sit in there with you and a former employee? Did I not, or did I?
Yes.
For 1 hour. And I typed everything up. I do believe that part of the problem was the former administration. They spent $365,000 for that mess down there. They hired an architect, supposedly an architect that knew how to do medians on highways. Don't think so. Sir, I have the plans and the architectural name on the plans, the original plans. You don't put wildflowers or the plantings that were put there when there are cars and gasoline going up and down. You don't put the plantings that you can't see deer and or cars back and forth. I've looked at Bartlett's. Jim informed me that Bartlett has 7 landscapers on their payroll, permanent. Is that correct, Jim?
Your time's almost up, so.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
It needs to be cleaned. I'm 74 years old, and I'm out there cleaning. And I'll be there Saturday morning again. Nothing is going to happen until we get that clean. You talk about poles with signs. We don't even have a light on that median. I could go on for years.
Mayor Bunker.
Yeah, I'll say, I'll respond to a couple of things there. First of all, I didn't admonish you in that email for you criticizing
You
the
spoke to my
appearance of the
husband.
median. 1 second. For what you said about the appearance of the median, I admonished you for the way you attacked the city. The manner in which you attacked the city was vicious and uncalled for, and I'll defend the city. I think it's a good city. I think all of the citizens most of the citizens that I'm close to are very proud of their city. And so while I'm in agreement that the median does not look good, I do not speak the way you did about the city of Lakeland. I think it's not productive. So that's what I admonish you about. The other thing is the median. You say it's my responsibility to get the median done. We carried out, we passed a resolution for the improvements to that median in a timely manner last fall, in time to affect those changes in the prime growing season, the seeding season. And it was not carried out. And I asked about it starting in February. What are we planning to do? Shouldn't we be doing something? In March, I asked about it again. In April, I asked every week about it in April. I got my rear chewed in May, and I started asking a couple of times a week in May. Every time I was told, well, we're getting a company in next week. Well, they're delayed, they're backed up. We're going to get them in 2 weeks. It's going to be next week. It's going to be next week. It's going to be next week. That's what I heard. The man responsible told me that. The man you just praised told me that. I carried through on my part. The authority I have as mayor, we just talked about it a minute ago. I'm a commissioner that chairs the board. I don't have the authority to go contract with a company, or I would have. Hang on one second. I would have contracted with a company to get out there if I had that authority. But I don't have that authority.
I priced the sod when your other city manager was here.
You don't have the authority to carry it out. You don't have the authority to submit RFPs for the city. I don't. He does.
Okay. Gene. Or, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
One of the priorities whenever I was appointed to this position, not elected, was the senior citizen center and the meeting. I wanted to make sure that we had that done. I can assure you, from my standpoint and from the other 4 commissioners up here, we did everything in our power at every meeting this was brought up. We are not public works. We are not operations. We're management. We dictated that it be done. We asked for progress on it. And results were not had. Not because we don't want the results. I want to see a finished product by the time I leave here. I want to see the median to look like what? I'm working on a design for an entranceway signage for the front of the 64. For my input into it. But to say that we haven't addressed this and that these 2 commissioners and the mayor hasn't worked on this is inaccurate.
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, that's what you did say.
No, what I'm saying is if you look at it, there's nothing been done.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. You
There
can
is
talk about it all you
there's no
want to, but
results
nothing's
that
been
you
done.
see. There's no results that you see, but it's not that there's nothing been done. There has been a lot of work that's been carried out on that meeting. There just isn't any results.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody needs to take a chill pill, but, it does need to get done. We can talk about it all night, but he is correct. It still looks like, well. Does anybody else have any other comments that aren't heated? Yes, Jen?
Well, hang on one second. Let me say something about that. If we have discussion, if it's not disruptive, in other words, we're cursing at one another or threatening one another, we should have free, open discussion. I don't want to limit Commissioner Torrey's debate because he may have spirited debate, or I may have spirited debate. We should have free, open, spirited debate, especially if we're addressed in such a manner and things are said that are incorrect. I want to emphasize that I have been a part of a solution to the extent my authority allows. And I cannot RFP this myself. I cannot pay for it myself. And so our decision today is, do we go beyond this? The only option we have beyond this is to terminate our city manager. And so Ms. Rose, who criticized me saying I should have gone beyond, in the same breath praised the performance of the city manager. I assume she doesn't want me to go beyond my authority that is very limited related to this meeting and use my authority I have over the city manager's employment because she just praised him. So I'm going to catch 22 here. And that's what I wanted to emphasize.
All right.
So do you want me to fire? You want me to vote to fire him? You want to bring up consideration of his contract? That's what I thought. Thank you.
Okay, Jim.
Thank you. And I agree. This rests on me. I'm the city manager. I'm in charge. I have the authority to carry this out. It all rests on me. I'd like to go back a little bit because there's some comments made that nothing's been done. I want to go back in time to the election. Now, let's go back even further. Back about 2007 or so, when the original plan was put in place for the meetings, the landscape. Up until that point, it was all grass, up and down all the way. Since the construction of the road was done in 2005, I believe it was expanded 4 lanes. That plan was a completely different concept from anything we've talked about recently. That was a very natural plan, natural design. It wasn't uniform at all. It had wildflowers, it had this, it had the other thing. And you saw what it was. Now, at the time, we also had a much bigger staff. In fact, one staff member, Eric Bridges, you remember him, by the end, he was maintaining that meeting all by himself. He spent his entire summer in there. And and sort of kept it close. But if you remember, by the time, well, then he left. By the time the election happened, that thing was so overgrown, it was blocking traffic lanes. It was out of control, which was great for growing, right? But it looked terrible. It looked awful. The priority by the incoming commissioners was to fix that median. That was immediately fixed. All the overgrowth was pulled out. It was cleaned up immensely. You didn't have blockage of lanes anymore at that point. It was a huge start. We went from this disaster we could lose children in to something that looked reasonable. Now last year, there was a healthy debate that went on for a long time about what to do with them at that point. Clean them up, they're great. So do we repair the irrigation system? Do we add landscape, flower beds at the ends of all the tips? How do we do it? Do we sod? Do we do this? And I think we had a plan going forward that y'all took the lead on. And of course, Chris Thomas was helping forward that plan. There's a plan in place, and then the costs came back. Remember, the costs were surprisingly high for the sod, for removing all the mulch, for repairing the irrigation system up and down the whole thing. It was a massive cost. A lot of debate about that, how the cost was going to come down, what to pay for. It was late last year through December, it might even been January when the actual budget amendment came forward. Here's the plan. We're only going to landscape the tip of the southern median for now. We're not going to repair all the irrigation up and down. We're going to leave it in place. We can repair it in the future if we choose to. We will keep the irrigation at the southern tip, the water, whatever flower bed goes in that area. So that was a big discussion. Sod versus seed came up. Now we had looked at, Chris Thomas took the lead on this, finding out which companies would do the seed versus the sod and how to do it. There's at least 2 companies that assured him and me, I was part of this also, that because the mulch had deteriorated far enough, you wouldn't need to remove all of them. And I believe the cost to contract that work was pretty extreme. It's also not work that you send the public works crew to. That would take up weeks and weeks of their summertime or winter, whenever, removing mulch from the median, while all the other public works jobs are not getting done. So I think it's a clear case of where you contract the work versus having it in-house done. This spring has been a disaster, and I agree. The median is, I agree, extremely important to us. We're talking about all of the economic development initiatives. If our entrance looks like crap, we look like crap, I understand it. We got nailed with horrible weather. It's no excuse for why we're in July right now. But getting a contract out there was difficult. Within the last couple of weeks, we got 96 shrubs removed. That was the first step to get those out of the bulk of the medians. Put the seed down. Again, the seed contractor also, at a $14,000 savings from the sod, said the mulch was deteriorated enough, you do not need to remove it. The weeds have been a thorn. Now, about a month and a half ago, we sprayed for weeds and knocked them down. They've grown back up again. The contractor on the seed said, wait till the grass gets established just a little bit, and then we can start spraying it. Now, if you remember, as far as our spraying contract goes, we contracted for the entire length of the median, even though he's only going to spray the existing grass areas until such time the new grass came up, he's going to start spraying the whole thing. So right now, and again, we're in July, I understand it's late. Where we are right now, we're at about that window where if we don't see grass coming the next few days, we're going to have him come back out again. Now, this can be a decision of us if we want to remove all the mulch or not. Remember, the cost of that was extreme. Or even to replace the soil there to make it more, friendly to grow. I believe that we try this again. We have grass down, we have seed down. Give it a few more days to see if it comes up. If not, then we go back to the drawing board. We can bring back an option to go sod. I mean, that's a possibility of the board if that's what we want to do.
We've already paid the man, right?
And it's guaranteed. He will come back and spray again if.
Why can't you get rid of the weeds? That would have been marvelous, just to kill the weeds. I really don't understand that. I mean, I could have gone out there with Roundup myself. I did. I told you that. I went to the IH clubhouse and I took whatever was ever left in our tank and sprayed some weeds. Didn't have any city stuff on, so nobody knew who I was, but I was sick of it. So why can't somebody go out to the median and spray them and kill them? I killed them. The few I sprayed over at the IH clubhouse are dead. Why do the ones on the median keep growing back?
regular spray on the grass areas. Once this grass comes up, the entire meeting will be sprayed regularly to keep all the weeds down, and then not going down.
With grass, but there was no grass there. They could have sprayed Roundup and killed it, killed everything there. That's what I don't understand. But, we've argued about this enough.
The bottom line is, it's my responsibility. It's all on me. We're trying to get it fixed as quick as possible. And what I can do is give you another update where we are, next week. We'll see the grass coming up. As soon as the grass starts coming up, we can spray it again, knock the weeds down, get rid of them for good. And that spray contract will begin from then on a regular basis.
I think it's evident that we need it done by X date. There is some money grant money that I got that is gonna fix that stuff too, so. I think the cutoff date that we set is September and have it all finished, right?
Yes.
Any other comments? Next item.
Discussion on appointing a planning committee for the Christmas tree lighting.
I don't feel, right talking about Christmas. After all this discussion.
Maybe we need this.
The last hour. We'll just defer this to.
Well, what I'll say about this, I don't think we need any action from the board. Last year, we had a planning committee that met to talk about the Christmas festival, Winter Fest, I think was the name decided on, which I believe we're gonna change it this year too.
I hope so, I won't go through that again.
But with a head nod, I guess what I plan to do is proceed, form a committee like we did last year, start planning the event, that will occur this fall, similar to last year. But, I think it was a great success last year. I think we'll also might be able to improve it for this coming year. Have a committee like we did last year, and start planning that event. So if you're okay with that, I'll go ahead and form the committee like last year.
Nobody? Yeah, okay.
I think we should start early enough to where it's not a knee-jerk decision making in November the 20th.
It should be done, yeah, in the next couple of months. All right, next item.
Discussion on communicating the status of city projects.
I brought this up because, well, it was kind of to that gentleman's point. I think that nothing gets done, and that didn't get done, and we've all discussed that for a half hour. So I won't go into that, but there are things getting done. And I want to make sure that people know what gets done. I would like to perhaps on the website, I know Jim and I have talked about it, perhaps a link that has the state of what's gotten done. Not just for people that come, because the people that come to the meetings are engaged and they're keeping up. But for Susie Smith that doesn't even know what's going on in the city, she could go on and see the link and say, oh, they did Pine Point, they did this, they did that. These things were done, because I think it's important. The other thing is when a project is completed, kind of like, I don't know if TDOT does it, but a lot of places they do it in different cities. Another project completed by Lakeland. You could put it on the edge of Pine Point. It's almost finished, by Sprouts, the median, where we had it pulled up. You could put it there. So at least people see that things are getting done. I will say, we do have a small staff, so we can't get things done, like Bartlett does, because we don't have 35 people that do landscaping or whatever. But people are still doing things, and things have been done. So that's why I wanted to bring up the signs and some kind of PR. Comments? All right, Jim, do you have anything?
No, we can just move forward on that. I think
Okay.
we had already talked in the past.
Okay.